Right, Mr. Tariq, we're back. Um, Obviously, there's a lot of problems in the community. By the sounds of it, community sold out. Women have sold out. The so-called hierarchy of practicing people have turned their back on us.
So men are sold out as well, aren't they?
Yeah, it was the men that are supporting these sisters. Unfortunately for me, they've sold out as well. They're
We
just
just
as
got to stop
bad.
selling out.
Yeah, man, bloody hell, but
Isn't it?
yeah, I know, man.
Everyone's got to get a bit of honour back in. We all do. We all got to start being a bit more honourable and
Okay, look, what would you
and
say to
things.
a sister now then? Okay, look, because I say this one. What would you say to a sister now who's engaging in the family court system, the false allegations? What would be your message to someone now from the community or any community, especially the Muslim community, that is engaging in this now?
What engaging it
in the
for
family?
her own devices? You mean?
That engaging in
False
the false
allegations.
allegations. I mean, okay, if a sister that's been coerced into, the whole women's aid, the police, the legal aid, they've made the false allegations to secure their children, had to dismantle their ex because the relationship came to her end, or she walked away because thought she could do better. Whatever has happened, she's now embroiled in the family court system, and she's denying contact for those financial gains. What would you say to her? What would be your message to that sister out there now? How would you address it? I mean,
Fear Allah, because in a short space of time, maybe by a blink of an eye, or 20, 30 years, you're going to meet up with Allah soon or later. And everything's been written down on your shoulders. There's two angels there, if you've forgotten, are writing down everything. And everyone's going to get their justice, bro. Yeah, everyone is going to get their justice. But most time, when I've been working in these groups and everything over the last year, most time, some girls, some women are driven by their emotions, and maybe something's happened to them, and a lot of people do a U-turn. Yeah, they might be questioned. They might have questioned. They might have questioned deep in their spirit, in their soul, in their deen, questioned, what am I doing, and done a U-turn. Alhamdulillah, yeah. I commend those people who do that. But the ones who are persistent and going straight and torturing their family members and the fathers and the children, fear Allah.
Okay, look.
Allah.
All right, I'll put another angle to this, So, relationships come to an end, whatever reason, either or, it's come to an end, Sister's angry, upset, emotional. I get it.
I get it.
She wants to hurt the other party. I understand. Can you understand that?
I can understand that. I have empathy with that.
Right. The government has also obviously given them many weapons to get back at the other person, and they've taken it. Fine. I can even on some level understand that. The option's there, the honeypot's there, so you're going to go to it, aren't you?
But why are these some sisters, like weapons you're on about, but why are they always picking up the guns, bruv? Why are they looking to shoot you down?
Because the government
why can't they just pick up a stick and hit you with it?
Because they were emotional. And the government said that will do the most damage. Take this. But even put that aside, fine. You want to destroy that other person that's caused you hurt and pain, That's the theory, right, But, excuse me. But do you not think when they look at their children and think these children are missing out, these children are yearning on something? Okay, look, a kid cannot express what it's feeling inside, Okay, you've experienced some element of lost contact, You know how it feels inside, As a grown man, you've seen those depths of darkness, A kid can't explain it. They can't talk about it. And I'm just thinking all of that is internalized, It's doing internal damage. Now, a mother, a woman who has given birth to this child, who's been raising him along with their other parent, surely that love for that child, you think, in my mind, I'm thinking, you're not going to abuse or damage your own child, This is your purpose, I get it, you want to get to the other person. Why is it innately in women straight away, this is broken up, bang, this child's my property, I'm off, he ain't seen him because it's mine, effectively. She or he is mine, and cuts the dad off in the process, damaging that child. Surely there must be something inside or something wrong for someone to do that, like to happily think, I'll cut that child's other parent out of their life forever.
Yeah, as I said, I think from people I've spoken to and experiences, I think it sits way back before their mothers, way back before even if they were on the man's side, before their
Generational
fathers.
trauma, yeah, cycle of trauma.
But at the same time, now you're talking about the present. Now they've got the child, they're going through a divorce. They want to punish that other partner, whatever, they're not getting on.
Okay, look, you're saying
But
generational trauma, yeah?
The child gets affected though, bruv. Like you said, the child gets affected. He doesn't know, do I stay with her or do I stay with him? Up to that point, his loyalty has been with both. That child's loyalty has been with both.
Yeah, no, but what happens? Okay, look, I'm doing research on this, studying. Obviously, I'm a layman, but I'm learning. Yeah, child's perception is very basic. Yeah, good, evil, good parent, bad parent. Yeah. When you're with the so-called good parent, because they're with you, okay, let's talk about
the residential,
the resident parent, the primary carer, who 90% are mothers. Yeah, remember that. Yeah. Now, the child in its mind is, I love both my parents, but I'm being told that the other parent left or whatever's being portrayed. Yeah. Now, that child, though he knows what it feels for that parent. It's an innate feeling that you are born with, most people, yeah, most children, yeah. But in its mind, it's, well, I'm with the good parent, so that parent's left, or I'm being told he's left, or he's been alienated in that way. There's a pattern forming of, that's the bad parent. It's that sort of alienation that children are simple, good or bad. I'm with the good parent. If they then show tendency towards the other parent, they feel guilty because they think, oh, it's a bad parent and this parent's with me, so they must be the good parent. I don't want to go against them. Yeah. Now,
why is that?
What I'm saying is, as a human being, though, look, as a human being, how can I put it? Every human being, every living species want to protect their children, not just human beings. If you look at animal kingdom, unless we're talking about cold-blooded animals, yeah, most other mammals protect their offspring. They will do what they can to protect and look after their offspring, yeah. As you said, most men, as I know, most men that I've known or spoke to throughout this whole thing, they would have never have contemplated placing, regardless of how the relationship went, would never have placed false allegations, yeah. Never have done that. They wouldn't have even contemplated it. False allegations, this and that. They accepted it. It's happened, and they'll have some sort of broken contact, or they'll come to an arrangement. But they never would have gone down that road. Yeah. So why is it innately in women? What I try to understand is second nature. False allegations. Children are mine. Straight after that, it's order to secure the children, finances. Forget even the finances, but children are mine, they're my property, this is over, they're mine, they're coming with me, you're not going to see them. Knowing what science has told us, that this is not healthy or good for the child, it won't give it a fulfilled childhood. So what would possess, and why is it mostly women that engage in this? What do you think it is? I mean,
what do I think it is? Emotionally, women are driven emotionally, yeah. And
love is an emotion. They love that child. So why?
Yeah, but they're using the child as a weapon, bruv.
Yeah, but okay.
And you just said, a man. Most men, I don't know any man will do it. You know what? If I had my kids, I'll be saying, you know what?
Go with your mum.
Go with your mum every weekend.
Respect her. Spend time with her.
I'll say it now. You know, never ever disrespect your mum.
100%.
You know,
you shouldn't. That's your mother.
That's your mum. Look after your mum. And a man, most men, 99.9% men will say that. Say that. Here, I'll go to your mum this weekend.
Yes.
Right? Because our weapon, bruv, is this, isn't it? Our weapon is a man. You know, you'll pick up arms. Yeah. Okay, look. No, let me finish. Let me finish. You'll pick up arms. You'll do that. That's our weapon. A woman's weapon, yeah, is she ain't got weapons. She ain't gonna pick up a weapon and start fighting. Her emotions, yeah, is the only thing she gets angry about. So she'll lie about something, or she'll, bend the truth about something else to get what she wants, yeah? Or, Yeah, she'll use her children as a weapon.
Okay, fine.
That's her weapon.
Okay,
bro.
right. Okay, so let's go back to that. Yeah.
That's the only thing what's hurting you, isn't it?
No, I get it. So they're emotional, yeah.
Yeah,
Emotional,
but
impulsive.
But as a father, that's the only thing what's going to hurt you, isn't it?
No, 100%. I agree. But as an emotion, and they're emotional. They're very emotional about. They love their children. They give birth to. If you give birth to a child, obviously a man can't experience that. Is that's a woman. God's given woman that sort of right, effectively. They have a bond and a love for a child. Yes, just as you love your child, you're prepared to effectively die for your child. Yeah, you self-sacrifice yourself for your children. Yes or no? The woman loves that child. Yeah, love is an emotion. So surely that love to want that kid to have a good, fulfilled life supersedes this revenge and all of this other. Surely it must.
Well, it obviously doesn't. With
how can you claim you love
someone, like I keep saying,
an abuser
like I keep saying from the beginning of this podcast, majority of the women wouldn't do that, bro. But this little 10% or 5%, whatever they are weaponizing their children. They're not having that emotion.
No, but okay, look, you're saying it's a majority.
Emotion is running their life. They're not running it logically, are they?
No, I get it. But
this little minute.
You're saying majority wouldn't. Majority that have entered this system now. But what I'm saying, across all the Western countries, obviously I speak to guys in America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, all across all the Western sort of countries, yeah. Same thing. And women innately revert to, and we've been conditioned to believe as well, relationships finish, kids are going to go with them up. We're already programmed to believe that, yeah? Fine, yeah? All the Western countries, same thing, yeah? And women innately, so you say it's a small percentage, this is natural, innate behavior that seems to take place that we're just not aware of. Men are just unaware of this, all of this, that bang, this will happen. Some men just assume, yeah, well, she's gone, she left, but or at least I'll get access to my kids. Like, mate, boom, gone. Like, hold on, why this? So yeah, there has to be something. I'm trying to.
Yeah, but don't listen. The way it is, yeah. You know when you light a match and you start and you want to like burn a bit of paper. It's the first bit of paper in the corner starts burning, isn't it? And the rest of the paper ain't born. We are now at the stage where the first bit's been lit. That's the way I see it. It's not the majority. The fire will catch light to the rest of the paper, and soon, and maybe in the next 10 years, everything will be burning.
I think it's spread. I think it's already there. I think half the paper's burnt. Personally, I think it's gone much further.
Yeah, but I'm trying to be a bit more positive. So we, as a majority, people out there, even the ones who it's not affecting, we can pour out and stop the fire, bro. Because that's the only way we're going to deal with this. People have got to now get a conscience. They've got to fear Allah. They've got to like step in if it's your cousin's brother doing it, or if it's your daughter. Yeah, if it's your daughter doing it, or if your mother, your daughter's doing it, or something. We have to stop this kind of behavior because it is killing the kids. Because like you said, it gets into the child. They don't know how to like calculate their feelings, right? And it manifests itself later on in life.
I believe it's internal chaos and damage.
Manifests itself later in life. Now, how many men and women now have been, in their lifetimes they've been married 3-4 times, different relationships. Yeah. Why is it like in in the generation before us, our mothers, fathers, our grandparents, they were with the same person for the whole of their life?
Yeah, but all the argument is, even if you have been, say, divorced, right? Fine. Why do you have to damage your children in this way?
No, it shouldn't.
And what? Okay, there's a big taboo around divorce. Communities, South Asian communities, has been a big taboo for many years. It's obviously becoming the norm now. It's very much accepted, but like you said, look, as it's in all communities, women are initiating the divorce. We know this now, yeah. So in some cases, obviously,
they want to be independent women.
But women have initiated this divorce. Women have initiated this breakdown in relationship, and as was discussed in the last one with the illegal guys, yeah, they're doing this, and then to get the best sort of most secure position with the children, finances, and home, they're happy to go along with so they're not just happy to leave this guy. And it's also I don't know if you're aware, but what's also now going on in the community as well, which is now more apparent, yeah, of the last, say, 5 years of people that got married over the last 5-10 years, right? Yeah, is they've taken on that role as a man. So they've got married, they pay all the bills, supply the house, and all the stuff that you're meant to do. Not a problem, yeah. Narcissists are, the professionals, dentists, opticians, professional. They've got jobs, careers, yeah. So they've earning their own money, right? No problem. But the Islamic argument comes, they fear Allah when it comes to that. No, they say fear Allah to their husband. You can't.
That money's mine.
Yeah. This is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Fear Allah.
Some of them. Yeah.
No, but in all the cases we're dealing with, as in what is going on in family, this is a common trend. So when I say some of them, this is a common trend that has now emerged, which the youngsters need to obviously look out for and stamp out, because they're the youngsters that are going to get married this year, next year. They're going to change this because they're going to make a stand, yeah. But this is the trend now. So the poor guy's been working, thinking, yeah, I'm doing my due diligence and my duty as a father and a man and whatnot. Paying for this, because men generally, from what I've understood and seen and know, because ultimately I am a man, when you look at it, you're looking at it as a family unit. You're looking at your missus, your kids as one unit. And I always assume women, when they look at their family, they look at it and say, nah, bro, women look at their unit as in her, the kids, what their benefits and perks are. They don't look at it like a man. We're innately obviously very different, right? Yeah. So what's happening is, poor guy's been paying for 10 years. Right.
Zuhur time.
Yeah, it's Zuhur time already. Oh, it's been that long. Yeah, so what's happening now is, right, take it down.
Yeah, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, so guy's been paying for 10 years, all the bills, everything. He's got no money to his name because he's invested into the family, yeah? Sister stacking her money, bro. 200-300 grand, optician, dentist. And then when this has happened, yeah, sister decides one day he's no good, I can do better.
Yeah.
Poor guy, guess what? So though it was fear
Wake
Allah,
up, guys, wake up, man.
Fear Allah, you can't touch my money because Islamically it's all mine. You're meant to pay for everything. One guy I spoke to was so extreme, yeah. If his missus went out and bought him a couple of coffee, she'd say, oh, you owe me £4, like that. That's how extreme it was in one case, yeah?
Yeah.
Every time he's like, flipping, well, you can't buy me a coffee without like getting out the calculator, yeah?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So 10 years, my man's been dishing out, wading out notes, yeah, for family. At the end of it, sisters, forget fear of Allah now it's fear the family court system. We have to follow the law of the land.
Yeah.
And they
wouldn't dare walk in.
Who does that?
They wouldn't dare walk into an Islamic court and go for a divorce, bruv, because they're not getting what they get as they get in the Western court.
I honestly.
And the other thing is, yeah, when a man makes money, yeah, you're grafting and everything like that, and then you come across another 5-10 grand or something extra, yeah, you're thinking about, all right, shall I buy my missus a car, or shall I do the garden, shall I, do the house?
Family unit.
You're thinking about family things I'm going to do. Am I going to buy my kids something? When a woman starts making money and she's making more money now, what do I need a man for? That's the first thing she's going to think. That's the thing some of them are thinking now. Like you say, it's getting out of control. The first thing they think is, what do I need a man for? But when a man makes money, how do I get further on with my family? My unit, let me get my unit set.
Okay, so this goes, okay, so now that you touched on this, yeah, so when, the red pill movement, all of that, and the study of the sexes and human behavior, that has to hold some merit, I think, because some of the stuff they've come out with was, you can apply it to exactly what is going on.
Of course it holds some merit. Of course, it's not all conducive to our deen, but
so it holds merit.
Of course, it holds merit.
Stuff they've highlighted in there.
Yeah,
you're right.
They're just trying to hold the reins now, where we've let everything bolted. Yeah, and the red pill movement it's a reaction to feminism, isn't it?
I think it's just a reaction to this oppression. And when you when you enter the family courts, look, let's put it this way: if I'd never seen this side of the family court system, the law, and how you were treated, biased against men, any of that red pill wouldn't have made any sense. No. I would have watched it because I was so shocked. The social conditioning, what we grown up with, you're so conditioned to the environment, what you know. You wouldn't have seen it for what it is. Now, once you enter it, you fully see and understand it, and the nature of man and woman, effectively, which before you're conditioned by society we're in, you know, it's subtle conditioning. You wouldn't have understood it. So the red pill now holds more merit than ever, I think, personally. And obviously, it's not all conducive to Islam, but a lot of the stuff they talk about, the human behavior, the study of the human behavior, psychology, study of the sexes. I don't want to use the sexual marketplace as such as an example, but what sisters are, if you apply it to the Islamic angle, it's the same thing, isn't it? They're taking what they can, saving what they can, and when they decide they don't need him no more, they take the kids, the house, all of his money, according to the law of the land, completely against Islam and Sharia. And the brothers, the fathers, the uncles of these sisters are happy to engage in this.
They're not intervening and saying,
so what stop. Okay, and some of these people, look, I hate to say it, but in the community, as you know, they go Hajj and Umrah. They talk about Quran, Sunnah all day, Tasbih, but they're happy to engage in this now,
You have to fear Allah, bro.
I just say to the children, the youngsters out there who are coming up, do not get fooled by the persona. Someone that looks like they're practicing doesn't necessarily mean he's got Islam in his action and his personal affairs. And when you say fear Allah, I think fear Allah in your personal affairs when no one's watching. Can you fear Allah when no one's watching, when no one's going to see you do that wrong? Do you see what I'm saying?
This is the true fear of Allah.
But that's
when you fear Allah, when no one knows what's your intentions, but you know what your intention is. But you're fearing Allah and not letting that intention manifest into an action. But no, like you said, most people take the easy route and go through the system which is going on benefit. They will not walk into an Islamic. They won't go and sit down with an imam and say, where does it stand? Who keeps the kids? Where should I do with my property? The money I make? Because half of it will be like either 50-50 or in the man's favour. Isn't it?
No, don't get me wrong. If the sisters paid for all of it, fine.
Whatever they paid for,
no problem. Like, be legit.
Yeah.
But I think even before marriage, where fathers are demanding these civil registries, they want to involve the government in your marriage, like, you know, girls and fathers for security. I've known in cases where some nikahs have been called off because the girl's father was pushy with this whole civil registry business, and he kept saying, I want security for my daughter. What do you mean by that? If it goes wrong, my daughter's secure, but your son will be out in the street. Is that what that means? I used to think, was that what the geezer means? But there's a lot of this stuff going on.
Because they're not relying on.
They're sold out.
They're not relying on the deen, are they?
Or they know there's something wrong with their look in the South Asian community, as you know. If there's a problem with your child, you cover up rather than let's address it, deal with it. Let's cover up, lay blame, or let's all stay quiet until they're married and then it's done, innit? Like it's someone else's problem. I think there's even all sorts like that
goes on as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, mate, big time.
Pass on the problem, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Pass on the problem.
With coercive control and narcissistic behavior in the Asian community, is cover it up, make it into a sellable package, and just pass it on to someone else. And once you've secured, if you secure a civil registry, that's now the geezer's problem, That's the coercive control element. The perpetrator's family all join in. It's the geezer's problem, number one. Number two, once he has a kid, you've locked him. Now, I speak to a lot of guys, Even if he's let me put it this way. Even if he's a masculine guy, let me ask you, you look like a masculine guy now, Even if you're a masculine guy, leader type, you ain't going to take no crap. You still have a purpose. You got to go work, like you said. You can't be at home 24/7 raising, unless you're at home. Now I'll definitely consider it. I'll raise my kid, bro. I don't need, it's fine. If you want to go work, if I'm saying with a woman, insist, I'll have that time with my child, because going out to work, that works against you in the family cook, because you're never there because you're providing. So as a masculine man, you're going to go out there and work, You can't be there, So, so add to that now, if this person has got your kid, she's with the kid 24/7, kid's growing up, how much authority can you really put? Because she's the primary carer, she's got the kid, you're out working, you can't be there 24/7, and especially if like you mentioned narcissistic behavior earlier, she has demonstrated unpredictable emotional behavior, unpredictable behavior around a child, because this is how control is enforced. So you're a masculine guy, you've just had a baby. Obviously, she's going to breastfeed, look after, nurture, you'll help where you can, You have an argument about something. You put your foot down, being that sort of guy, yeah? Put your foot down, you have an argument. And arguments are very normal and healthy in every relationship, yes or no, yeah? They're very normal, yeah?
Of course.
Now, she's got a baby, say, and say she demonstrates unpredictable behavior around a child, which plants a doubt in your head thinking, hold on, she's a bit imbalanced. She ain't all there. Do you see what I'm saying? And they do it purposely around the baby, yeah? And you back off for that 1 second. So let's say that argument, you think, oh, maybe I'll let this one go, yeah, because she's got a baby here, right? I don't want to. It affects her, affects mum, affects baby. I need to. You're a man, innit? Masculine primal behavior, protect baby. Healthy mum, healthy baby. Let me back off.
Yeah.
She clocks that, yeah. Now you know she's got leverage over you going forward from that point on. Coercive control, and this is what I'm saying. So once they normally, what happens in communities where they say, okay, get in. If you get a civil registry, great. You've locked that guy. He's batting for our team now, yeah. Once you have a kid, and this is what a lot of like families are doing. Instead of you being a son-in-law and giving you that love and respect as a son-in-law, traditional view, you've handed your daughter over. It's up to him to look after her and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's you've married him. He's our son-in-law, but we want him batting for you and just our team. Not there's a union of families here. Not daughter, look, this is your family now. He's your family. They've come in with this mindset. I am here with this guy, but he needs to be working for me and my team, to my mum. It's that mentality. And that control, and you know, like in Asian, look, you know, this is Slough, you know a lot of Asian guys. Asian people generally more placid as a culture. Like you from a Caribbean and Pakistani culture, you know, like Caribbeans are a lot more alert in that sense. Asians are a lot more passive, would you say? Like you've seen on both sides of the culture. Men are
there is a big difference though. Like even like Indian and Pakistani
Indians are
culture.
Passive people, but Indians are known to be passive.
Yeah, because I've lived in Gujarati communities. And I've lived in Pakistan.
Yes, I'm Gujarati, and Gujarati generally passive. Gujarati men are meant to, and this is nothing wrong with. They're generally passive people in that sense. Hence, this tactic that I've just told you is more employed in the Gujarati community. Punjabis are a lot more dominant, aggressive, culturally very tribal and strong. Yeah, they're very like that.
I'm Punjabi.
Yeah, so Punjabis are very tribal and very sort of strong in that sense. You know, they wouldn't put up with this sort of crap too much, but when they've got your kid, that's what I'm saying, that's when the leverage is applied. And in the Gujarati community, because men are more passive, they sort of let it go. But that is how control is enforced. And once you let things slide, because you're worried about your kid, innit? It's this display of unpredictable emotional behavior around the child, you let it go, they've got you. Then girls' mum and dad try and even put leverage on you. They have little digs at you when you go around. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they know this. They've raised this child. They know their daughter. They know there must be some issues or whatnot. This second generational trauma. If that comes out again in the South Asian community, family secret, stay secret. You don't want people to see what's going on, or problems in your household. What do? Blame the other guy. Blame the outsider.
Yeah, blame the outsider.
And they want the outsider working for their team. Coercive control, like I said, there's so many different avenues and angles to it, but once they've got the kid with you, to a certain degree, they've got you, because now I know, like in the law, they definitely got you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's fueling it? Finance. Do they see the man? Do they see the man who's coming into their family?
It comes into control.
But you're controlling his finances, then, aren't you?
No, but okay, look.
If your daughter's married this guy, and now the daughter's taking control of the family and all that, and like that family's backing it.
I'll tell you what's fueling it in the Asian community, yeah? Shall I tell you what it is in the Asian community? Ego and pride, and we're better than it. So what happens is, look, if a son-in-law, let me put it this way, yeah? If a son-in-law comes into a household, yeah? So you married a girl, right? This is how I see it. A lot of cases and a lot of guys I've spoken to now, yeah? These are real life examples. These ain't me just saying. These are people that I talk to, lived experiences now, yeah? The son-in-law's not respected. They look down on him. And in the Asian community, money talks, yeah? If it's a family with money, and look, ego, pride, if you subconsciously look down at someone, like I said, up north now in the Gujarati community, they're demanding houses, cars, salaries up front. Forget taking it off you after you get married. They want it up front.
They want it up front.
They want it before you get married.
But there's your answer there, bruv. Brothers,
ego, pride,
brothers should be very careful who they marry, isn't it? And really, as a man, right, once you've taken that girl in and you've married her, you should be, navigating it to maybe spend more time with your family.
Yeah, but that's not happening. This is where
I know, but
a lot of brothers are moving close to their in-laws. Yeah, but why do you think that is? Because that situation no, but okay, let me put it. If you're in your 20s, let's go to a short break.
That's what I mean. It needs to address it.
We're going to go to a short break and we're going to digest this now, specifically, Back in a minute. Right, Tariq, we are back after a short break. Obviously, we could talk for hours, right? So let's try
hours and hours, bruv.
Let's go into a little bit about the coercive control and the tactics where we left off, and the tactics that are employed to sometimes, because you don't always see this. A lot of cases where I talk to people, they've ended up there, but they don't know how they got there. And in cases that I know, like we discussed earlier, the children, they're not that close with, say, the guy's side of the family, but they're fully at home with the mum's side of the family. And like I said, these things don't happen overnight. What do you know of this sort of control and this sort of coercive control, and how the kids, their bonds, the children's environment and relationships are also controlled to reinforce that further control over the whole family unit, effectively?
Well, what I've experienced from talking to brothers, and a little bit of experience of mine, is that what can happen is that the mother or that parent will keep her family, her kids, just on her side of the family, and the father, his side of the family, the kids never really go around there that much.
There's resentment. Yeah.
Or she'll say, "I'll go around to your mum's, and like she's always having a go at me," or your father.
Drama, there's some always a drama connected.
Little drama. It. So what actually happens is that the family unit is just on one side. Is that what you? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. I've seen that happen a lot in communities.
Well, I'm Gujarati, so I'm Gujarati, so I can say this.
Yeah, go on.
These tactics are prevalent in the Gujarati community because, as we said before, you're going to have to go work at some point. That child's mainly with the so-called primary carer, They control these relationships and bonds. Let's say you work shift. I knew a guy, he worked shift, Forget his extended family, I knew a guy, forget the extended family, he was lucky to have time with his kids. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this one specific case, right, this geezer used to do night shift. So he comes on from night shift, kid says, Dad, take us to school. So he goes, one day he thought, kids, I'll take you, it'll be fun, let me take you to school, just up the road, no big deal. And he noticed, he goes, and this is not over one day, we're talking over years, these patterns of behavior, right? So he goes, he noticed, she went, Missy said, oh, look, every time he was to step up and say, kids, I'll take you today, Oh, look, babe, you look really tired. You've just come from night, and he's come from night shift, you're feeling a bit groggy, but he's right, he never used to sleep, he goes, after night shift, but she used to plant that seed, babe, you look really tired. And he's like, no, I'm okay, I can take him. No, I really think you should get a couple of hours. Your eyes look really heavy and red. Get a couple of hours sleep, and I'll make you a nice fry up, and you can watch your favorite morning program, Loose Smith, whatever it was,
All right.
So, or Jeremy Kyle, I don't know, whatever it was, right? So he's like, maybe you're right. Babe, I'm worried about your health. Get some sleep. I'm okay. See, because I used to lay in bed, couldn't sleep, woke up, had a fright, watched Jeremy Kyle. Morning's gone. That moment's gone, innit? Every time he stepped up to drop the kids, there was that little barrier. And he noticed one day, all right, I didn't drop them off here. You're right. I was tired. I've had my sleep. I'm going to pick the kids up. No. I'll pick them up, she goes. So he goes, so why? Why can't I pick the kids up? Like, look, you can do something once, and get away with it. 2, 3. When there's a consistent pattern over months and months and months, you start seeing something's wrong, right? And then she goes, I really like that moment when we walk home together. And look, this is innate women behavior. They know that, like, women understand these moments a lot better, And they pick that child up at school. Hi, come here, give mum and dad. Look, there was a time where I had the opportunity to drop kids and pick them up. Kids see you, they get excited. These little moments, you can't appreciate it until, unfortunately, you end up in a suit like this,
Okay.
So Kids come running up, they hug her. How was your day? What did you do? That is a bonding moment. That child and the parent are connecting and bonding, and that is forming part of the childhood. That's what the child remembers. Child says, "Oh, someone so hit me." Mum says, "Oh, why didn't you do this?" They feel comfort and love.
Yeah.
That bond is reinforced. So what did this woman say to this geezer? She goes to him. No, I really like that moment when we're walking home and they're telling me about the day, and it's just my little thing when I pick them up. So he thought, you drop them off, it's your moment. You pick them up, it's your moment. Everything else that you do is your moment. Well, when's my moment? I'm at work. And then sometimes when he's busy working, providing anything, it doesn't matter. I'm still providing. I'm out working, providing for my kids.
He's doing his
bit. So he's thinking, I'm doing my bit. Mum's telling kids, oh, unfortunately, dad's never here. Your dad cares more about work. So it's a double-edged sword. He's lost out. He's lost out on all fronts.
Yeah, that's a narcissism.
Yeah, but this is it. It's controlling that bond. Yeah.
So what happens further on in the story is, when they split up now, your dad never even wanted to take you to school.
Yes.
He was never there.
Yes.
He wouldn't even pick you up after he's had a good couple of hours sleep.
No, some cases are worse. This is where people.
But that's what goes with that story.
No.
That's what happens. I've heard it all the time.
No, but see, in them cases, you're saying it's when they split up, they say this. In some cases, whilst they're in the relationship, whilst this is going on, they're telling other people. So for example, they'll take the kid to school. They'll pick them up. They see other mums there, other dads there. Oh yeah, he never wants to pick him up. He never wants to drop him off. I have to do it all. He's not. They're doing it while they're in it.
While they're in it.
We're not talking about it. Listen, if they did it when they ended it, that's one thing. That's understandable. You want to throw mud.
Well, we're laughing at it now,
this is going on while you're in it.
This is what happens.
When you're in it, it's different feeling, bro. It's a different beast. And then that's you. Right?
They're formulating their exit.
Brother, that child's pathways are formed. You understand the neurological pathways are being formed. So she's already doing that. And this is where I tell you how advanced this behavior, coercive control element, people don't realize how advanced it is, So then that one morning, let's say, I'll give you an example. That one morning, say you fought your way through. No, I'm not tired. I don't want breakfast and I don't want to watch Jeremy Kyle. I'm going to school, right?
Yeah.
Just say, okay, I'll come with you as well. So that's the other thing. If you notice, if she doesn't let you go alone, and says, no, I will come along, that's the other behavior. That's another red flag. So listen, all the boys,
laugh now.
Bro, we got to get
because it's so true, man.
Yeah, listen, remember what we said. When you talk to a guy,
so now
in a minute, he'll know, right, what you're talking about.
So now she's not letting you go on your own.
So then it will be, I'll come with you, Classic situation. And that I'll come with you, I'm going to talk to the camera because people are going to know this, That I'll come with you situation can apply to, I'm taking the kids, I'm just popping over to my mum's, I'll take the kids with me. Let's have a shower time, dinner time, bedtime, homework time. It'll be the kids. It'll be 110 things. She's got a cold. He's got a cold. Your mum had a cold 4 months ago, so they might still have germs in the house, and our daughter might catch it. It'll be 110 excuses. But let's say you battle all of that. You know, a man like for a quiet life or an easier life, you get distracted. You think, all right, whatever. You don't always see this. You got to remember. You battle all the way through that. Then it'll be, no, it's all right. Let's go as a family. I'll come with you.
Carry on with them from the school because I'm liking that bit.
Yes.
So now she's gone along with you to the school,
So now she's come along. But the day
why she's doing that, innit?
She's there, innit? Because she has to be present, control. You're not alone. That is done to ensure you are not alone with the kids. Mum is always present, and then also to the school. I think sometimes there's a persona, or you don't know how. You know these school mums when they talk to school mums club, they're all little chit chat, You don't know the persona that's being built, So when you go to the school alone sometimes, right, and I always find it all very awkward with other mums and adults, and it's all very awkward, right? So you just focus on your kid, But when she's going to the school alone and other mums are coming with their husbands, you got to understand that ploy where, how can I put it? They've already been telling them, he never comes, I have to do it. He comes from night shift and he goes sleep. This is what they do. So you're being forced to go sleep, have fry up, and watch Jeremy Kyle, right? Even though you don't want it. And when she gets to school, he never wants to do it. I have to do it. I bear all the burden of the kids and the family. I'm so oppressed. They're already building that, bro. This is the true. I know people throw this word around, but those that have experienced it, they know it. They know what I'm talking about. True narcissistic behavior. When they go to their mums, right? I know one case specifically, You understand the Asian community. You grew up in Slough. You're Pakistani. You understand it, It's very normal and common that when a couple first get married, and it makes financial, commercial sense, especially in London, that if the boy's mum and dad have a house, you generally move in for a couple of years while you save up before you get your own place. It's normal behavior, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So if I was to tell you, this case goes back 10 years, this one specific case now, yeah? This geezer had his own house from day dot. No obligation. And look, this idea, the problem is, there's a lot of these so-called alims and scholars. You know what they're pushing out these days now? One guy specifically, one mosque, right, yeah? I'll tell you what he does. Before he does a nikah, yeah, there's one mosque who's now well known, yeah? He starts getting into a speech about how a girl has no obligations to your mum and dad now, yeah? And before, obviously, back in the day where in the Asian community, girls used to do a lot for their in-laws.
For their in-laws.
It is a very common culture. It's a cultural thing. But guess what? We understand, they're not slaves. I get it. Shouldn't be working. And that is now understood. But for that day and age and era, it was normal practice, yeah? So you can't knock what went on before because that was the norm then, yeah?
Things have changed, man.
No. Just things have changed and moved on, yeah? No, but what's
I just got to get this bit in before you can. Things have changed, bro.
No, but
you got Asian girls now. They can't even cook, bro.
No, but it's worse than that.
It's worse than that.
This is worse. So forget even the cooking.
They can't cook. I think it's bad as well.
No, we'll go to the cooking in a minute now. Yeah, let's sort of cooking that in a minute, right? Yeah, but check this now. So this imam specifically, when he does a nikah, he now gives a little speech about how this girl has no obligation to her in-laws, just to try and counter what went on culturally 20, 30, 40 years. And you got to understand, I'm not saying there was anything wrong with that. That was the culture of the day. You got to respect it for what it was. And people move with the times and culture, yeah? So my argument is this now. So when this guy says this speech here about she has no obligation, it's already planted that seed. So when a girl comes into a marriage now, bro, so think about this. No, I'll make that food for you, but I'm not cooking for your mum and dad. Yeah, but if you live in any shared accommodation with anyone in life, everyone has to cook. Every couple in the shared accommodation will chip in, cook, clean, and X, Y, and Z. Yeah, women, they're gonna have a little confrontation about things here. That's life. Yeah, you're gonna have confrontation with your mother-in-law, sister-in-law. But when you come in with this chip on your shoulder saying, "No," that imam already said a speech. My point is, with that speech, he's now planted that seed.
Yeah.
And when these guys say, these so-called social media muftis and these imams and mosques, they're promoting these things, and I'm not disagreeing with them. That's my point. I'm not saying anything wrong or something disagreeable, but that is planting that seed. So when these sisters now coming in from the community, they've got this chip on their shoulder. No, I'm not doing that for you. Now imagine this: you're married, you're a guy, or lovey-dovey, watch too much Bollywood and drama, thinking, you're going to romance and fall into love, yeah? What happens? She said, yeah, well, guess what? I ain't doing this for your mum. I'm not doing it. That attitude right there, what's that done straight? That's got your back up straight away. And the man, you feel like, well, all that, it's put you in a bad place, right? But put that aside now. This is where the narcissistic element now, we're going to try and tie it in with the narcissism, yeah? So check this. Imagine now a girl, right, yeah? This one specific case I'm dealing with, right? Day dot. Own house, own drive, own garden, own flipping shed, man. Like, what the hell? You got your own unit from day dot, yeah? No obligation to anyone. Nothing, yeah? You can go and study, work, whatever you want to do, however you want. Complete freedom from a cultural perspective, you could argue, yeah?
Yeah.
Within 1 week, apparently, of this marriage, 1 or 2 weeks, she's already going on to her mum and dad about how she's working at her in-laws or something. I don't know, bro, yeah? So I'm thinking, okay, you understand, this all came out over the years of studying this specific thing, yeah? So this geezer, right, 2 weeks into his marriage, on one weekend, he goes to see his father-in-law, right? He takes his missus, yeah, so he gets in the car or his van or whatever it was, his truck, goes to see father and mother-in-law, thinking, yeah, we're family. You know that I told you?
Yeah.
So boy in his 20s, got Bollywood, yeah, we're married. It is what it is. Oh, wow, there's a union of families. I'm going to see my in-law. Respect, because, again, there's an element in the Asian community, and there's a lot of good things, right? Your mother and father-in-law, yeah? For some guys, they're told they're like your mum and dad. You respect them as your... They've given you their daughter, you respect them as your mum and dad. Nothing wrong with that. So they're going in with this community culture, mum and dad, yeah? So you got to understand now, passive community, young man, if he's not, you're not used to these sort of inter-family relations. So we're talking in-law relation. Look, you can go out with a girl and you can know that relationship. You know something's right or wrong, yeah? unless you've had dealings with the in-laws type of relationship, it's new. You're learning, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fresh, isn't it?
Yeah. So you go
New
there.
Yeah.
Father-in-law you knew 2 weeks ago. Now he's like a different guy. He's having little digs at you, and you know when you're thinking, but he's doing it politely, subtly. Gujarati community, it's all subtle, bro. It's not in your face. They'll tell you stories around the situation, but they won't hit you straight, yeah. Cultural passive people to do it a bit slyly, to be fair, right, from what I've seen, yeah. And they're having digs at him. This father-in-law starts going to him, as I've just explained. Girl lives on her own house, own everything, yeah. They've got their own place, complete freedom. From a community perspective, mate, great.
Yeah, they're made
exactly.
They've got a head
great,
start.
Yeah? Head start, right, yeah. Instead of looking at that, he goes to his father-in-law's first or second weekend, and father-in-law starts telling him how my son and daughter-in-law are independent. I don't need them for anything. I've given them their complete these little digs. You think he's sitting with his missus thinking, well, and this is what he's thinking. It doesn't apply to me because we live on our own. We're completely independent. So he's just generally talking because he's old. So he doesn't put 2 and 2 together that within 1 or 2 weeks, his missus is already filling mum's ear. Yeah, classic, innit? My mum's my best friend. I tell her everything. No. When you are married to a man, this is you're a woman now. This is an adult relationship. Certain things are private. If someone has to tell you that, you should not be in a marriage, number one, yeah? But starts telling her mum, again, and when I say tell her mum everything, they start making stuff up like the whole school run. Oh, he doesn't want to drop the kids off. It's all on me. I'm the victim. Goes to him, oh, I'm going to his mum and dad's house. Within what, 2 weeks of marriage, you're telling me you're living on your own, you're independent. Now, mum and dad didn't say, well, guess what? For our community, this is pretty well. You on independent from day dot. Girl, you're doing well. Just keep your mouth shut, head down. Don't cock this up. Instead of saying that, what? You're going to his mum's house. How long? And you're gonna sound, bro. This guy, I spoke to this geezer specifically. He went to his mum's house because he got married. Following, they went to his mum's house for lunch and dinner and breakfast. You know, for the families can mingle. Yeah, 2 hours here, 2 hours there, a couple of days here, and that was it. But the message already gone back. I am forced to work in the mum's house. They're forcing me to hoover and clean. And because it never happened, you understand? If you're being talked about, but it never happened in your life, you're sitting with this person who you support as your wife, your companion for life, who's got your back here, with her mum and dad thinking you've got this love and this union of families, and they're all talking about a subject and indirectly having digs at you. Brother, and if the family were happy to engage in that, firstly, what do they think of you? They don't think much of you. They have no, and because they're doing it slyly, and because you're a nice person in the community, weakness. It is weakness. When I say to people it's perceived as weakness, I'll say this out there: niceness is weakness. I'll go as far as saying being too nice is weakness. Period. It has to be, because it's always seen as weakness. So then they manipulate the situation, bro. And geezer don't know what's happening. Geezer doesn't apply to me because I'm independent. They're having digs about this, but they're having indirect digs. It's all done indirectly. And this guy goes, I used to leave feeling there thinking, was he going to dig at me? Like, it can't apply to me because I'm not living like that. We don't do that. But
they feel insecure in their relationship with these people.
But it's control, innit? And then when you let one dig slip with the in-laws, yeah, guess what? It's like a bully. When you let it go the first time, you're already a victim.
Yeah.
When you let it go once, they will continue till the point you're batting for their team. That now gives the narcissist more power because they're watching your reactions to these situations. When you're a nice guy, you're passive, weakness. Then that element of the school runs is enforced around the kids. The bonds are enforced. Again, you control the relationship between yourself and the child. I mean, your sort of husband, your partner and the child. Then you control the environment, the children and their extended family. You control the game. Her mum and dad always step in to help out, look after. She makes your mum and dad, these are tactics. They make your mum and dad feel so uncomfortable around her and the children, where, you know, when someone's really, like, for example, there's some women are so finicky. Like, let me give you a classic example. Sister comes round, with your nephews and nieces. Boys are boys. Now, my nephews come round, we mess around, I swing them around, we play fight. Mum every now and then goes, oh, stop it, go easy. I'm like, listen, back off, he's my nephew, he's a boy. If she was too controlling around the kids, I don't like you. You know, if your sister, for example, I'm just trying to, so people understand the feeling. If you felt uncomfortable being boyish or messing about horseplay around with your nephews because, you know, mum's so protective, makes you feel uncomfortable, you're not going to do that horseplay, are you?
No, you're not.
So imagine now this individual makes, say, for example, to the boys, your mum and dad, and your uncles and aunts, excuse me, feel so uncomfortable around young kids that they don't want to mingle too much. Like I said, I've just given an example of horseplay, yeah? That's how you create a scenario. So you create that scenario that they feel a bit uncomfortable, yeah? But when the kids are at mum's family's house, so the, what do you call it, Mrs.'s mother and father, brothers and sisters, no rules apply, no regulation. They can jump, play, whatever. But when they're at your mum and dad's, no, sit here, don't move.
Here, yeah.
Right, bedtime at 8, we need to go. But when they're at our mum and dad's, for example, they're playing till 9, 10, 11 in the evening. Yeah, do you understand? When you
children ain't going to want to go back there, are they?
No, exactly, bro. But these are tactics of control.
Yeah, of course.
And the perpetrator's family, from all the cases now that I'm looking at into studying, you know, in the Asian community, they seem to get around it more and support it and cover it up because of ego, pride, and generally, if it's also a family from the Asian community that's got money, yeah, I assure you now, some level or other, yeah, if one family has, say, more, they've done well, they're wealthy on some level or other financially, they look down. Subconsciously, they're looking down at the other family. Guarantee you, they're looking down as my daughter married slightly. He's lucky to, this is the word I'm looking for. Not that this guy can take care of he's looking after my daughter or he's got good qualities as a man or masculine. Yeah, it's my daughter could have done better. He ain't got a house, or I know this one case, like I said, he had a house and everything, but it didn't matter nothing. Because when you look down at someone, or you think your daughter's special, you're giving her what you call a princess syndrome, I call it.
The mentality will always find itself in a situation where it's going to want to use those same tools to get where they want to get, isn't it?
It's like with some people, you have to understand. So let's say the argument was, he doesn't do this, he doesn't. Let's say you did all of them. You provided this house, you went to Mercedes, you got a Mercedes. He doesn't do this, he doesn't spend time. You did all of that. It will be, yeah, but once you provide some mentalities, you got to understand generational trauma, especially from dysfunctional families, generational trauma, dysfunctional women.
So what happens now to someone now watching this podcast who finds themselves, they're in this situation? Right. What should they do?
This is what you should do. Right, go onto my channel. I have made 2 videos saying, are you being coercively controlled? What to do? There's 2-part video. The 3rd part is not out yet because I'm still figuring the 3rd.
Okay.
I'm still figuring out
how you get out. Well, that's a dead end.
Listen, I'm still figuring out that last bit. Yeah, so look, bear with me on that. But the first 2 videos are out. If you feel you're in that situation, you're being coercively controlled, yeah, do not set off the tripwire for your partner to realize that you've clocked it. Keep your head down. Play the good house husband, yeah? As I said, start recording audio and video, yeah? The controlling elements, start a log. As I've said, create a log, time, date, who was there, controlling behavior. With most of these cases, when it's this extreme, yeah, you got to understand, the kids are very much coercively controlled as well. For example, I'll give you a quick example, yeah? One specific case, one father now, we're talking in depth, talking and studying the situations now, yeah? Lived experiences, yeah? His father goes, every time I'm with the kids, we used to jump around, play this and that, yeah? I ignore that one, it's fine. They should jump around and play, yeah? He goes, and this is after years. This is done after years, yeah? Not overnight, not one incident, pattern over years. He goes, when the kids are around me, we wanted to do something. He's like, yeah, Dad, let's do it, yeah? And sometimes you notice the pattern. When the missus was in the room, when mummy was in the room, yeah? After about 30, 40 seconds where kids seem excited with certain things, if mummy didn't agree with it, yeah, he never said anything, the kids said, nah, Dad, actually, it's a bad idea, leave it. Because I noticed the kids used to look up a certain way, look down, and you got to understand, women, especially with daughters as well, yeah, boys are a lot more boisterous, they don't have the attention span at that age. Daughters, girls, they do well in school, as they say, younger, they do a lot better in school, they have a longer attention span, that's why. So when mummy and daughter have created that bond, add the little school runs, add the little bonds to her side of the family, uncomfortable with your side of it. Add all of these factors up now, yeah? Kids are now getting older, yeah? They get into, at 7, 8, 9, 10, they got, they can form a conversation, they know what they're doing sort of thing, yeah? What happens is mummy, and women communicate just with the eyes sometimes, yeah? So what mummy used to do in this specific case, right? One little look. Dad's in his own world, he don't see, he's messing about with kids, and he don't clock it. So what happens? Dad, kids, you want to do this afternoon? Shall we go to your grandma's? We can play there with your cousins, brothers and sisters. Yes, Dad, let's do it. Great. What happened? One little look here. He said, I noticed a pattern every time she was in the room. 20, 30 seconds later, kids change their mind about something. And one day he said, why are you changing your mind to the kids, right? When the daughter's a little bit older, yeah? And he goes, daughter's like this. She's looking at him and then looking over. He clocked her looking over. He goes, as I'm looking at my daughter's eyes in a subtle way, why is she looking over there? He looked over there. Mummy's there giving her the stare. One little look from mummy, woman to girl, boom, boom, telepathic. She's clocked it. Mummy's not going to like it. Head down. Better play the game. Because when
as they get older, they'll say it as well. Mummy won't like it.
Hopefully, those children that are strong enough will say it. But you got to understand, bro. Daddy's not always around. Daddy has to go to work.
But I mean, he'll tell the child will tell the father, Mummy wouldn't like it, and that's why they're not doing it.
Okay, but this is the problem. Now, this adds another problem to this now, yeah? So think about this. Daughter's looking at mummy for confirmation that, am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to enjoy and have fun with daddy? Am I allowed to go with daddy to his mum and dad's house to see my grandparents? Mum's giving me that look. I better play ball. Do you know why? Ignore that, we'll fix them later. Right? What the kid's going to think is, yeah, but daddy's going to go back to shift later on or work. Mummy's then going to question me and grill me.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Mummy might put me to bed early. Mummy might not let me have dessert. Let me tell you how these tactics are employed, how the child is controlled. People don't know how serious this is, yeah? Mummy might not let me have a glass of water before bed and I get thirsty. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I exactly see it.
The tactics of control are employed like this. As we've now gone into this, I said we carry on with this just to educate those youngsters so they understand these red flags. And if you are in that situation, the problem is this with what you just said. The kid tells daddy, yeah? And imagine how volatile this situation is. Daddy's already being controlled. Daddy's got his own problem and daddy is a passenger in his children's life already, yeah? He's a passenger. His children have now gone from so many years where they do not have a bond with his mum, dad, brothers and sisters. One side of the family is already controlled, yeah? When that pattern is already formed, yeah, it's very hard to break now, yeah? And if the perpetrator's family, so the guy's mother and father-in-law, the perpetrator's mum, dad, brother, sister, yeah? Let's not extend to the brother, sister for a minute, but let's say mum, dad, they're in on it. They are enforcing this control, these digs, to your face. So when your kids go there, what do you think they're saying to your kids? They're now enforcing it more. I know one guy who used to say to his grandkids, so one geezer told me his father-in-law told him in front of him, used to say to his kids specifically, yeah? Oh, listen, do you like Nana's house? Nana's like, so, yeah, to the kids, do you like Nana's house and garden? It's really nice. Like, yeah, Nana, your house is really nice. What's Daddy's house? Daddy's house yucky. You know what I mean? In front of his kid. Now, the guy thought, like, hold on. You're a grown-ass man. Why would you do that to your grandkids? Is this So he goes, my father-in-law used to do this to my own kids, right? So that's in front of you. So when you're not there,
what else
they are teaching the kids control. And this guy said specifically, I can't explain it because you're in an environment where they're feeding you, they're giving you love, but they're giving you these little digs, they're cutting your liver out while they're giving you a hug, basically. Yeah, it's one of those situations. Yeah. He goes, and when I'm there with my kids, he goes, I can't explain it, but I felt like a passenger. They're their kids. They're her kids. They're their kids. They were never your kids because that control is enforced from day one. That's what people need to understand. It's done subtle, very subtle and slow, yeah?
It's done subtle, but you can see it as you...
No, you're in it, you can feel it, but you don't know how to deal with it.
As the children grow up as well, yeah, they will see it as well.
No, they will, but the problem is this now, right? Well. No, but this is where the problem comes in, and we'll tie it in what to do.
Because this is prevalent. This happens in a lot of families.
But a lot of problem with this situation is too late by the time they figure out, and then you react, and then you got the family court machine that turns on you. So this is where you got to be very careful, and this is where we're going to lay out what to do now, yeah? Because let's say a child tells you, this is what's happening, or mummy's punishing me or questioning me, and it's all subtle, like mummy doesn't let me have dessert or won't let me have a glass of water or sends me to bed early if or mummy's funny around these things, yeah? What can you do? You already know this. You're a passenger in your own kid's life. You're just trying to be prevalent. You're fighting for your kids to have a relationship with your side of the family, yeah? It's a constant battle, yeah? Constant tug of war, right? You're dealing with that. Now your kids told you that. If you say something or do something to now alert, say, I'm not happy you treating the kids like this, the mother, the mum, the other partner doing this. And don't get me wrong, if there's some men doing this, obviously these signs go for both parties, but it's mainly women that engage in this sort of control. Like I said, yeah. So you say something to the missus, don't do this to the kids, this and that. They're not happy, Bob. How do you know? She's gonna clock that the kid said something to you. When you go work that evening or the following morning, what's going to happen?
Yeah, she's gonna.
So now you
she's
can't
confront them.
Exactly. So your child has indirectly come to you and made it clear that the other parent is very controlling in many ways, and you know that because you're being controlled along with the rest of her family. Yeah. If you alert that person to the fact to that child now, do you see the problem with that situation?
Yeah, you're feeling helpless because if you do alert that person about what's going on,
who's she going to take it out on?
She's going to take it out on your child.
So you're now screwed there as well. So
you're screwed there as well.
Yeah.
So this disease which they manifest onto the children and onto the whole family.
Yeah, but where did she learn that? This is my other question, which I'm going to sit down with a psychologist. I'm sitting down with I've got podcasts coming with psychologists now. Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 people that innately understand his behavior because I want to get to the mechanics of it. Now, when I was with Sister Sally when she was in London, she explained some of it, the neurological pathways that are formed in the brain from a young age. Yeah, something's happened in their upbringing where they have seen something or some trauma or their upbringing generally or how it was in the home that has formed certain patterns in their brain. Yeah. So when they get older, they'll only feed into this neurological pathway. So if that situation doesn't even exist, for example, as I said to you about the you're tired, go to sleep, I'm with your fryer, Kyle example, yeah? But when she goes to school, he never wants to drop them off. It's all on me. I'm carrying this family. He's never there for his kids. That's when she promotes that. So she has created, so that you understand, the facts is this.
That could be.
No, but look at this. I'll get to the psychological bit. The facts are, you're never there to drop your kids. That is the truth. You're not there because she's taking them, because she's created a scenario at home. So when she's saying it, psychologically in her mind, you're telling the truth. I am always dropping the kids to school. He's never dropping them here because that is a fact. I am carrying this family. So that narrative is actually true. Yeah, but that feeds into that drama that you create and satisfy that. But it's not real though. This is my point. She created that situation.
Yeah, she's created that situation, yeah. But let's get one thing straight, yeah. You've given it a perspective that a secular perspective is something going wrong with her brain and whether.
No, second generation trauma, as you said it. The way she brought up. Maybe her mum taught her.
I think it could be something her mum something.
Or was she witnessed in her upbringing?
It could be something what's happened in her upbringing.
Yeah.
But bruv, these things could.
It's a scheming. They could, a scheming person.
These can come from that person themselves.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
go on.
This comes from, you say like this psychological thing. No, bruv. I think it's the shaitan, yeah, whispering to her, or it's got hold of them, yeah, and they are not. They are on that path. They are on that journey to destroy the family. You know why? What does Dean tell us about what's the best thing a shaitan can do? Destroy a family.
Yes.
Yeah, and they go along with it, and they've got every chance, they've got every opportunity while they're breathing, yeah, to U-turn, yeah, and stop doing this satanic behavior, bruv. I do not. It can be stemming from trauma. It can, but I know people. I know people
that
very
come good from trauma.
I know very close people to myself. I can even say very, very close to myself, who've been brought up in the worst circumstances, and they've come out like angels, bro. They've been brought up.
Yes.
They've been brought up, and you know what? When they've got their own kids, they've given their kids the things they've never had, and they've gone completely different to how they were brought up. So I believe, I'm very passionate about this, brother. I believe this narcissistic behavior, and it done by Muslims, because maybe the non-Muslims are not aware of what's actually fueling it. It's satanic, brother. It's evil. It's the devil. It's disgusting behavior, and it doesn't necessarily go on to the children. It's sometimes the children with low spiritual awareness could adapt it and carry on with their lives and everything like that. But the person who's doing it, yeah, they need to take a U-turn. Bro.
Yes. Okay. Look. Okay. So what you're saying, this is how I've evaluated it over, because I've been studying this for a long time now. Yeah. So you've got, say, I don't know, person's makeup, let's say 100%. Say 30, 40% up, say 50% upbringing, neurological pathways formed while you were a child, growing up in your teens, what you saw in your own home, what trauma you saw, what your parents went through, what you saw your mum go through, whatever it was. So let's put that down to the psychology, upbringing, neurological pathways and whatnot. Then there's an element of 25% is who you are, as in your personality, and say the other 25% split up into 12 and a half and 12 and a half, good and bad. Yeah, good and bad, good and evil. Yeah, there has to be some element of that person. So take all the factors. Yeah, if you allow the good to take over and you use your trauma and pain, you saw what your parents went through, whatever trauma you had, but you make sure you do not let this pass on to your children. For example, if a man's, they say, like studies have shown, he sees his father engaging in domestic violence, the chances of that kid, when he grows up, engaging in the same behavioral pattern, or will end up doing it on some level or other, is because of what you saw growing up as a child. But a lot of men don't. They say, I'm never going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. A lot of men come good. So there has to be something innately in you as a person, yeah, where you've allowed the evil. Everyone has some, I believe, look, good and bad in them, yeah, effectively, as human beings.
Runs through our veins, bro.
Everyone, I'm saying cross cultures, communities, everyone has some element of good and bad inside them.
We all have, as human beings, we have.
We all have, yeah. Now, sometimes you allow that, those demons, I call it, to take over. Even the situation we've been through, demons could easily take over. We could be doing something non-productive now, but instead we're trying to be positive and do what we're doing, yeah, with our situations, right, yeah. So these people have entered these relationships. They've got that behavioral traits, elements, second generational trauma. But they've now allowed that trauma, and they've taken the bad side of them, followed with the bad of others. So you know how it is when you got a circle of friends and you see one person in marriage, or they start, women especially, they rile each other up in it. Oh yeah, what, your husband don't do this, your man don't do this, my man does it. You know how it, they get competitive and whine each other. So then they take off the negativity from these others. They go to their mum and dad, they moan about their husbands or whatever. Mum and dad join in, feed into that even more. Do this, play these games. All of those games then take over, and they lose perspective that the only person that will be affected in the end is you and your kids. Not your mum and dad, they've lived their life. Not your friends, the school mums club. You can all stand there and moan about one person's husband, but guess what? All those other women, they got their husbands and their kids. They're going to go back to their own family. When you go home in bed at night after 10 years, and a lot of brothers we speak to now, yeah? It's been 10 years since their divorce separated. A lot of the exes, not married, they got the kids,
still got grudges.
Years on, they got grudges. But my point is, if you're in your 40s, late 50s now, for a man, I've said it's a lot easier. So you're in your late 40s, coming up to your 50s, you got the kids, you're not in the best shape of your life. You're gonna, how do you see the rest of your life? Based on what? These little games, getting one over. I made sure I didn't do nothing for mine. Do you see my point? All this stupidness.
But that's their demise, bro. They're
big time.
They're gonna pay in this life,
yes,
and the next life, for their demise, of what they've done. But I mean. But you know what? Inshallah, change it before that.
We're gonna change it for the youngsters.
You turn. Change. Yes. You turn before your last breath.
Sisters, it's not worth it, because at the end of the day, when you close, only those that know this feeling, when you're laying there at night, there's no one there. You're a grown-ass woman, you're not going to sit in your dad's lap and he's going to comfort you. Ain't going to happen, yeah? Your parents are going to leave this world one day. When you close your eyes at night, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, they have their own life. Once people get married, have their own kids, they have their own life. You will be laying in bed on your own, closing your eyes, and remember, these kids, your possessions that you keep, they're going to grow up one day. They will notice this. They will lead their own life. Yeah, you cannot enforce your happiness in them somehow. Yeah, you got to fix up. And those in those relationships that have a chip on their shoulder about in-laws, these are petty things. Get behind your husband, and vice versa. Husband should get with his missus, and it's your team. Pull through. This is your family unit and your team. And those that are in these relationships, yeah, Go back to that, what to do. Go back to my videos. I've released what to do. Coercive control, what to do. If you realize you're being controlled, what to do. Lay low, play the good house husband or the boyfriend or whatever you are. Make notes, take audio, take footage, take recordings from the kids. If you think the kids are being controlled and they've come to you, like Brother Tariq said, well, kids say, oh, mummy's so controlled. Take footage, take videos. You're going to need this. Yeah, you're going to need all of this later on, but do not do anything rash. Do not set off the tripwires. Sometimes you get goaded into a situation. Many cases, fathers have been goaded into an altercation, so then they can get the family court machine behind them. Do not fall for it. If you think it's going to be an argument, stay silent.
See what happens, bruv. You see what happens, yeah? This alienation, if we're talking about the kids, this parental alienation, if we're talking about the kids, yeah?
Aye.
Yeah. All it does, first of all, is rob
the child.
It robs the child and it robs the father of time, which you can never get back. Yeah. How to deal with it? Like you're saying, you take if you're in it and you don't see any way out, start logging, start recording. But at the same time, yeah, don't pick a fight.
Yes.
You know why? You know why you don't pick a fight? First of all, you forgive. You gotta search deep into your heart and forgive whatever's going on. Yeah. Because that's how you're going to survive.
When you're in it, Tariq,
no, I know, but
beast, man.
Maybe you can't do it. Maybe you've got to get out and then forgive.
You've got to be tactful. Yeah, forgiveness will later.
The way I see it, you've got to be tactful, but you've got to
detach yourself.
You've got to detach yourself, but you also, bro, you've got to keep yourself healthy in your mind. And
yes.
Yeah? And you got to know there's a fight. Sometimes you can't fight. Because if you go fighting,
you can't.
Now,
your
dad's like this, your mum's like this, and she's done this and she's done that. All it's going to do, because they've had years of this coercive control, is make you look like the monster.
You look like mad. Look,
you're going to look like the monster.
You look like a mad one. Yeah.
You're going to look mad. You're going to look like the monster. So some fights you can't fight. So either you come out of that situation, or you tackle it in a way that is not going to make you look like a monster.
No, but that's what I'm saying. When you say come out of it, do not do anything to trip the wires. That's what I'm saying. So do not get confrontational, do not argue, and be tactful, yeah? And like I said, play the good house husband. Footage, recording, audio, video, audio, the kids, listen to this, and spend time with your kids.
There's a lot of brothers here listening to this, brother. And you know what? They are traumatized. They're living in a trauma. You're walking through the door. You're putting the key in the door,
your heart sinks,
and you don't really even want to go in there.
Yeah. You know, I know.
You're in the company of all the rest of the family, and you just feel like you're a little mouse in the corner.
Yes.
All right. So sometimes, all these logical things we're saying to do now and everything like that, is not going to work because you can't. Because I'm just talking for the other person now, because you can't, right, let alone sort out yourself, you can't sort out the situation. So you've got to gain strength, like any fight, And sometimes you can't fight that fight, bro. Sometimes you've got to come, sometimes it has to come out, but you've got to come out in the most healthiest fashion you can, That means divorce, separation.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
Separation.
But as soon as you trigger that, this is what you got to understand, though, Tariq. This is what I'm trying to say.
But you've got to do
balance,
it. But bruv, you've got to do it in a way that the monster doesn't. They don't see you as a monster.
No, but as soon as you trigger those words right there, the problem with that is what you just said: separation, divorce. She's got the weapon. They've got the loaded gun. The family court machine is going to come against you. You've lost complete contact. So don't do any of that. This is what I'm saying. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You got to lay low, be stealth. You have to be stealth. And this is what I'm saying. If you've been in that marriage, most of these marriages, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years again, you're already mentally strong. So what I'll say is, for those who've endured that long with someone where they are a passenger in that, when you're an imposter, when you've got imposter syndrome in your own marriage, and you survive for that long, under these sort of controlled conditions, and like I said, the world sees you as the perpetrator and a monster, and they see her as this innocent victim. And she's a woman, bro. It's an Asian community. No one's going to believe you. As we've covered all of this, you're already a very strong person. This is what I'm saying. You're already been all of these thoughts. They've already passed these stages. But in these stages, because you're still getting through day to day, This is where you have to apply that logic. You have to, because as soon as you trip any of the trigger wise, any trip wise, yeah, separation, divorce, anything like that, talaq, once you start bringing that into the game, yeah, they've already got the family court machine there. Do not assume that that person doesn't know this. They know all of this, bro. Every case we've dealt with, the guys suddenly ended up with arrest, because you know the pattern. Come home, police are waiting, you get arrested, you get released the following day, no further action. Historic allegations of abuse, historic allegations of financial abuse, historic allegations of, and there's a classic one that goes around, he tried to strangle me. Many cases I've heard is apparently tried to strangle me and kill me. So there has to be a threat to life, financial abuse, and control. Bang, they've got you, no evidence required. Police release you the following day, that's secured legal aid, followed by molestation order, occupation order, you're homeless, you file a C100 for access, and then you're fighting for 3 or 4 years potentially to see your kid. Standard pattern. You can't go there.
Yeah, you can't.
So what you got to be smart. Remember this, and look, I'll say this now, yeah? In the family court system, from what I've learned is the one who acts first can get ahead. Yeah, I might as well stop putting it out there. Yeah? I was going to leave this till my grand finale way down the line, but I'm going to put snippets of it out there. As a man, remember this, as a father and a man, whilst you're living in the family home, yeah, and others have made this mistake, remember this, you have parental responsibility. If you go home, for example, and you got to understand, a lot of these guys, it's a psychological, emotional control. So even though you're at home, yeah, and what happens in these cases, and it's happened many times, yeah, what the guy starts doing is he wants to take the kids out. Mrs. ain't even there. He can't take them out. But after many years of living with someone like this, you're conditioned. You got to remember, you get conditioned. When you live with a mad person for 10 years, you're going to go mad.
You're conditioned. You're scared of this person sometimes, bro.
Even though the world thinks, wow, you're such a strong masculine geezer, how can you be scared of a woman? The thing is, you're subconsciously thinking, I need to speak to her before I take her out.
Because of this satanic behavior.
Conditioning. You were conditioned. Now remember this. They are your children. Yeah? If you sense this is what we said, the family court machine's going to come, guess what? You could effectively, the truth is, take the kids and go anywhere in the country. You can go as a parent. There's no law to say it's not. You know, people have this perception, especially men. I think have this perception that when they're in these relationships, if I take the kids and go, because you've been conditioned to believe you're a passenger, they're not my kids, they're her kids. You told a line, yeah. Snap out of that. If you sense danger, you've got your audio, you've got your footage, you've got your recordings spanning over 1-2 years. I'm talking, you've got your logbook of incidents, controlling behavior, you've got footage, secret footage that you've done. You have to do this. At that point, when you think enough is enough, control's getting too much, take the kids, go to a hotel somewhere, done. Yeah? From that hotel, you call the police, you apply to the courts, you act first. I think that is your only option. Straight. Yeah? If you act first, you get ahead. And then remember this, you could be anywhere, no one, if the kids are with you, even if you took the kids, for example, yeah, and went off to your mum's and had the kids there, yeah, the police or her cannot come and take the kids off you because you're a parent. You're with a parent.
That's fine. Yeah, but you are really.
No. I'm telling the kids that people are in it.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Forget us, right? We're done.
Yeah. But, bruv, as the guys, because we're pointing most of this discussion with the guys, yeah, most of them are like the breadwinners. They're the financially. That's the only. They're keeping themselves afloat by their work or everything like that. I've come across so many brothers over the last few months who are just broken individuals, bro.
No, but they're broken because of the family court system.
Yeah, they're broken because of the family court system.
We're talking one step back. I
think they're broken from living in that family life.
Yes.
Living with that woman.
Okay, I get it, yeah.
They need to come out of that marriage, bro. They need to.
But with your kids, look,
but you're not gonna. But you're not gonna get it with your kids, bro.
No. This is what I'm saying, bro. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be wearing this, bro. You don't have to be a prisoner like us, yeah. This is exactly what I'm trying to say to you, yeah. You might be broken in that relationship, yeah, and I'm specifically addressing this. When you lose contact with your child, yeah, with your flesh and blood, yeah, when there's these hurdles and barriers placed, you will realize what broken is. You will truly understand what heartbreak is. You will truly understand what concentrated emotional pain 24 hours of the day is. To have a bereavement, living, breathing bereavement and mourning every single day, to bury your children daily. you will understand what true pain is. Where you're at now is bad, yeah? That's why you need to come out. You don't want to do something, come out of this, and then whereas you had that pain there, you're now carrying a bereavement for another 10 years. Do you see my point? And this is what I'm saying.
That's the predicament we're all in as men.
But remember, we're in that predicament because we assume these kids, the people in these marriages, they don't need to assume, yeah? We're creating the exposure. They don't need to assume, yeah? If I pick my kids up, I went to my mum and dad's, and I call the police first and say, I am being controlled, this and that, the police cannot come and take the kids away from you because you're a rightful parent. Once the process starts, he who acts first, and it seems to be she who acts first in most cases, because they've got the blueprint. They've got, because guaranteed, and you know the classic in it, they go to the doctors for months before the turmoil, before the storm. He's not giving me money, he's not doing this, the old tears.
He's abusing me.
And what I said about the school runs that have built up these relationships with these teachers, unfortunately, and most of them, they're good teachers, but they happen to be women. The welfare teacher at school happens to be women, especially at the nursery and infant school, they're all women. They have these relationships and bonds made. So when mum goes in, this is how it's done, I'll even act it out too. I'll even act it out, They go in to drop the kid. And as you give the kid to the teacher, the welfare teacher's nearby. Okay, I'll see you later. Something wrong, Mrs. So-and-so? No, it's fine. It's okay. It's nothing. It's okay. It's just, No, it's okay. No,
Yeah.
No, come here. Let's give you a cup of tea. Have a jammy dojo. What's wrong? Is he abusing you? Well, I don't... But he doesn't give me any money, and sometimes I'm just scared to go home. But he's all right. He's not abusing. You know how it is, bro. They're actors, bro.
Big time.
So what happens? Welfare office teacher, or whatever they're called, they alert the authorities. They alert the police. You go to the doctors. Doctors refer you to women. All these people refer you to Women's Aid.
Women's Aid. Yeah.
Women's Aid then give you the full blueprint. So we've got to keep saying it. I'll say it again. We've said it many times, but I'll say it again, Women's Aid then sit there and say, right, you look like you're from an Asian background. Are you Hindu, Muslim, Sikh? Yeah, from India. Oh yeah, those religions are a little bit oppressive to women. They look down upon women and all of this stuff. Yeah, I think you're right. He is a little bit too religious. If she's wearing a hijab, niqab, even if she's not wearing, check this, right? I know many cases, sisters don't wear hijab, niqab, nothing, but they're now saying the whole family's really practicing. They talk about Hajj and Umrah 5 times a year and whatever, And what do they say? What are those sisters going about? He's forcing me to wear the hijab and niqab and whatever, They've never worn it. No one's ever seen them wear it, but apparently that's an allegation now. He's trying to force me. But so what it is, the women, they say, does he ever try to make you wear a hijab or a scarf? Actually, we had a conversation once about 20 years ago. Yeah, of course he did. You know what I mean? Done. Are you scared around him? Well, he does have a temper, as I mentioned on another podcast. Well, he did disagree. He didn't let me choose the colour at all. I wanted to paint the walls dark green, and he said no. Oh, so he's controlling. Yeah. Actually, I don't have a say in anything. Do you cook and clean? Yeah. Just some women like cooking and clean. I know many cases. They were good cooks and clean. They did all of that. You know when you said cooking problem, that's a separate issue. I know cases where, if you look at it, they didn't just cook for themselves, bro. When they went out, they gave little tubs, little doggy bags when visitors came around. People are like, oh, you're so lucky. Mrs. gives you lunch, packed lunch. They did all of this. This is what people don't realize. Look, if a narcissist, this is where the depth of narcissism, which is people don't understand.
It has no level of depth.
What the worst type of narcissism is this, and I'll tell you where the men are trapped. When someone's like a partner, let's call it partner. So one partner or one person in this relationship, if they don't cook or clean, or they're aggressive or they're abusive or they're physical, obvious, and the world can see this is an angry, nasty person, or this person I generally wouldn't mess with on the streets. You can see that. But you know when the assassin's smiling, the smiling assassin is the most dangerous. They'll cut your liver out while they're giving you a cuddle. This is what I'm saying. That is the worst type, because you know they're cutting your liver out. You know the world is looking at you thinking, wow, what a lucky guy. His missus makes him pack line. And don't get me wrong, this one specific case as well. You know the kids, right? So there's all this control around the kids, but academically, on point. All their homework, times, regimen, on point. So you can't say it's a bad parent, but to pinpoint how controlled they are along with you is for the world to see is very hard. So that's the other thing. A lot of guys, they feel trapped here. And if they're masculine, they come across masculine type of guys, bro. How do you tell someone? How do you bring it out? It's very difficult because when the world sees her, they see her as a victim. And the other thing I'll touch on.
They'll always most of the time see women as
not just that. A lot of these guys in these relationships, you know what happens as well? When this person has that victim face and persona, yeah, most of these guys are in it. You understand? It's affecting the person in that relationship because to live with someone like this, yeah, they start seeing her as a victim. So when they get brave one day, saying, "Right, I've had enough. I'm gonna kick off," yeah. Then what happens is guaranteed there's a backstory. Oh, my dad was never nice to me. Oh, my dad abused me. My parents never really loved me. I was the black sheep of the family, yeah? What happens is, and this
I had to run away.
This is done in the earlier years of the relationship, yeah? Yeah, it's earlier years of the marriage and the relationship, because you have that, as a man, you're thinking Bollywood, innit? Bollywood, married, family unit. You've got that seed planted. So when these days come where you sort of get angry, because you know this is happening with you, you kick off, you stay angry for a day or two, and then the third day you think, can't leave her, can't do anything. Subconsciously, you believe she's a victim. People don't understand the psychological stages of the person that's with an individual like that.
That's right.
You are balancing and carrying a grown-up child. It is very, very difficult. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the narcissism has a foundation.
There's so many.
And the foundations which are put there are strong foundations. She has to make you feel like she's been a victim and she's had it hard. And she's like,
no, but this,
and you're the only one who can like, sort it out for her.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they make you feel that.
They make you feel like that
so
for the first.
Yeah, so you're locked in. And this is what, you know, everything else we just said. Yeah, let's just go into this now. Yeah, everything else we've just discussed in the last 30-40 minutes now. Yeah, she's locked you in. Yeah, how do you keep you locked in and under control? Yeah, you have to isolate you now. So what then is done is the isolation tactics. If you're now distant from your family, because your kids are distant from your family, and she's made your family feel very uncomfortable with her, so your family will naturally distance themselves from her a little bit, indirectly distancing you, thinking, look, let's not get involved. She's unpredictable. She's a bit volatile. She lies. She plays games. They will clock it. Yeah, she won't. The narcissist will show the extended family her true face. You will never see it.
You see that pattern he's just mentioned? If you notice that pattern, or if that pattern's happening to you, put it in the messages below.
Put it, comment, reach out to
that is not an isolated behavior.
I speak to a lot of guys that reach out, email me, we'll talk on the phone, and we can try and dissect some of this. Yeah, a lot of guys since I released.
I've heard that so many times. What you just said there.
Yeah. Bro. So what happens is isolate and conquer. Look, we know it. Divide and conquer, isolate. All this trick in the book. Once you're then isolated, you got to understand. The perpetrator's family are always there to babysit. Her mum and dad are so great. They're always near there. And what you notice is you hear a lot of these cases in the Asian community. That son who's generally close to his family, after marriage, we don't really see our brother or speak to him. It happens subtly. And then what happens is in the community, you think, yeah, since he got married, he's just really into his missus, so he doesn't mingle much. And just as long as he's happy, we'll leave him be. That's the mistake they make. So if your brother or sister, he's lost in his marriage, do not go and, just be there for him, talk to him, listen to him, give him a safe space where he can open up without any judgment, yeah? Because the community has a lot of labels he's,
we need to
just put it in English, he's pussy whoop. They just say, oh, look, he's so pussy whoop since he got married. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Do not come out with this bollocks, yeah? If he's your brother, or especially, is behaving like this or something, or your son who's ended up like this after marriage, make sure he has a safe space where he can talk to you and open up, because he's isolated. He's isolated. He's a prisoner in his own marriage. He's a prisoner in his own life. He's got imposter syndrome. Many demons he's fighting. He's trying to remain part of his children's life. He's balancing, and at the same time, work, career, provide all the other pressures of life on top, yeah, and maintain social bonds with other friends and extended friends. Life becomes a prison, yeah. So then what happens is they isolate him. And then the guys that don't figure out what's going on, right? So they just see, okay, my family are not there. my family aren't babysitting. But her mum and dad are always there babysitting. They live on the other side of London, for example. What happens is a lot of these guys, yeah, well, look, why don't we move closer to there? Because we have a lot of family support there. I'm not saying your family, you understand? It's done subtle, bro. It's subtle. It's not in your face.
Yeah.
It's something, a lot of these cases, a lot of guys don't clock it and they think, yeah, you're right, it makes sense. Yeah, my family, we don't mingle that much anymore anyway. Your family are very supportive, even though there be subtle things which you don't twig, yeah, but you're now batting for that. You're fully paid up member of that team. They've got you. Mum and dad are in on the control. You move over closer to her side of the family. You hear these stories all the time. Yeah, he's sort of more with that family. Their family functions are priority. You know, need day, he goes to their family. He might pop over to ours for a couple of hours. But that's your son, man. What the hell?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
And in the community, like I said, son-in-laws, instead of where son-in-laws are given this respect and love and taking on their daughter, they're treated like an extended part of the daughter's family.
Yeah,
he's gonna work for us. Yeah, you're the handyman.
You're the handyman, bro.
You're the father and mother. That's what they
put
want.
Up a shelf. You do this.
Guess
but
what?
Any decisions to be made, you're not even involved.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You're the handyman, bro.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. You know, I know guys, yeah, that are happily been a handyman for the respect, love and respect for mum and dad. That's how they saw it.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. A lot of boys are making this mistake where they're looking at their wife's mum and dad as mum and dad, while their missus is looking at them, his mum and dad as mother-in-law, father-in-law, with that attitude. They're coming in with that chip on the shoulder.
Like the old dramas, bro.
That's what I'm saying. There's three.
It's just the same drama. The drama on the screen is coming into life.
There's three parts to this that we're going to build, yeah? Not on this, obviously not one show, but over time. And this is how I'm building. This is how I'm taking disqualified dads, and this is how I'm going to build it. There's those who are looking to get married, and they're in these conversations and how the certain negotiations happen, especially in the Asian community, what red flags to look out for, all the financial stuff, all we talk about, so we're going to have. So there's those elements. There's those that are in it. The second bit of this is those that are in it now. What to do? You're being controlled. You're batting for their team. You're a prisoner. You've got imposter syndrome. You're an actor in your own life. Yeah, only certain people are in it know that feeling when you become an actor or a passenger in your own life or your children's life. For what to do for them or what blueprint we need for them. And then the final blueprint is those that have ended up on this side of it and the family court machine are against you. Hopefully, there's a lot of organizations working where there'll be a blueprint on how to survive, how to get through. Because listen, everything you said, and the reason I say do not, if you will end up out of this where you've alienated fully from your kid's life, you got to understand this. There's a lot of fathers that have lost contact with their kids, bro, yeah? Those kids will, unfortunately, if they only grow up by that parent and that side of the family, that cycle of trauma will continue with them. If you lose contact with your kids for multiple years, emotionally, you might never make it yourself. Listen, 10 men a day post-separation, you might never make it yourself. Then it'd be like, look, your dad topped himself, he was a deadbeat, yeah? You're screwed there anyway, yeah? Number two, if you're alive, there'll be all this alienation, this and that. And you need to be in a state where you can continue and fight and get through the court system. So the survival guide I'm going to write of how to survive that trauma throughout these 6 to 8 months of lost contact. Do you see what I'm saying? How to get through and then hopefully come out the other side. Because if your kids remain there, yeah, you got to understand that you don't want to be alive one day to see this is now happening to your kid. They've done the same thing to someone else, or they're going through this, or their home's broken as well. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why it's very important. Sorry, go on, Tariq. Yeah, you're looking at some notes on that, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is very important. I'm just tying up what you're saying, brother. It is very important.
I think
but there are there is another couple of ways, but we ain't got time to go through it, because some brothers are suicidal while they're in that relationship, yeah, or they don't see no way out. And that's why I was saying, unfortunately, you know, your life is precious, the most precious thing to you as well. You got to look after yourself first, because you can't look after your kids, you can't look after anyone else if you don't look after yourself. And if you are at that point on the edge of the cliff,
reach out.
Yeah?
Reach out,
step back, email or step out.
Put it in the comment. Look, email me on disqualified.dads@gmail.com. We will talk if you're in it. Fortunately for you now, we've blown the lid on this. We're bringing it out. Disqualified Dads is pushing this. We've got brothers that are willing to come forward and talk. We're going to lay out a blueprint and give you a real idea of what's out there, what the options are. Just email me. At the least, we can talk and see what we can do. But do not give up. Do not break. Do not do anything rash, silly, or stupid, like Tariq says. Tariq, anything else you want to?
Yeah, and I would say as well, yeah, for years and the way we've been brought up over time and how we've been conditioned by films and media and everything, you know, us guys, geezers, us men, yeah, we are just we are like supposed to not show any emotion,
yeah.
or if we've got a problem, don't offload it, just deal with it, man up, yeah. Now I'm telling you guys, yeah, every single one of you guys out there, every brother out there, yeah, find someone you can confide in, someone you can talk to, offload, and if you can't, you should, as a Muslim, you should be talking to Allah on a daily, hourly, minute basis, yeah, because this oppression, this narcissism, this what's happening to your family where you've been persecuted and oppressed and destroyed, yeah, the person who's done this, unless they make that U-turn, they will meet their Lord. That's what I got to say, because that's what keeps me like smiling every minute of the day Allah's given me life. I will smile to the end because I've got trust in Allah that He will sort it out and everyone will get their justice, brother.
Inshallah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for having me on your.
No problem, Tariq. Today. Thank you for coming on. Inshallah. Thank you for taking time out and talking about this. Good seeing you once again. And as Tariq said, look, stay strong, offload, communicate, reach out. There's help out there, and we're gonna blow the lid on this whole thing. Thank you for watching Disqualified Dads. And see you in the next one. Go on. Bluetooth's gone. Right.